Success? Oh, hi. Glad you're here. I'm glad to be with you. I'm just going to talk about 2003 and the movies released that year that had the biggest impact on me, who I am. Um, I'm gonna try to go through. Let's just plow through it. No sense um, Kill Bill Volume One. I remember seeing that with my at the time best friend. Yes, because we'll get there. So she was my best friend at the time. Kill Bill Volume One, great movie. Willard, starring Crispin Glover. I remember seeing that with her as well, and we love that movie. I still love that movie. I watch it every once in a while. I own it. I think Willard is a very underrated gem. Crispin Glover is absolutely phenomenal in that film, and it's such a unique. It's like a quirky, charming, dark comedy. I love Willard. If you have ever been on the fence of Willard, or you've never heard of Willard, watch Willard. Especially if you even have any interest in Crispin Glover whatsoever. He's fantastic. I just saw last night his episode of. I didn't even know he was in an episode. His episode of Cabinet of Secrets. Love Crispin Glover. He's absolutely fantastic. If someone says, "Hey, check out this movie. It's got Crispin Glover," I'll watch it. I will watch anything with Crispin Glover. And I've seen, there's another one. I wish I could remember what it was, but it was really weird. And I watched it because he was in it, and then it was like amazing. Crispin Glover doesn't do not good or not weird movies. He's a weird guy. Anyway, Willard, good time. Big Fish. Big Fish is a great movie. I have a lot of memories with my best friend or wife at the time. We would watch it over and over and over when we had it on DVD. Fantastic film. I love Big Fish and everything it represents. The Recruit. I'm just going to mention The Recruit. What was it? It's De Niro, right? Or is it Pacino? Is it Pacino? Pacino and Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's like early days. I just remember seeing that in theaters for some reason. I was really intrigued and I really enjoyed it. I remember that. Good time. Spy Kids 3. I have never seen Spy Kids 1. I have never seen Spy Kids 2. I have never seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I have never seen anything in this universe of the Spy Kids franchise aside from Spy Kids 3. I remember it came out. No, I couldn't have been working there then. No, I think I worked at the movie theater when either the first or second one came out. But Spy Kids 3D, because it was in 3D back then, and then it was released on DVD, and I still have it. It was released on DVD in 3D with the blue and red 3D glasses. I should try it on my new TV, see how it looks. But that movie is just so funny and fun. And the cast and the cameos. I love Spy Kids 3. It's insane. They go into a video game. It's so much fun. It's so over the top and the 3D. But seriously, the actors and the characters and the dialogue is phenomenal. Spoiler alert, when the main gamer kid who's supposed to be the ultimate, kick butt guy shows up, and it's Elijah Wood. I remember her and I were like on cloud nine when he showed up. We were like, this is just getting better and better. And Sylvester Stallone is the bad guy. Oh my gosh, hilarious. I love Spy Kids 3, but like I said, never seen another one of them. But Robert Rodriguez is great. Everything he does, especially his adult movies. Lit. Oh, I was like, I'm not going to remember what lit means. I almost didn't. Lost in Translation. I'll never forget seeing that in theaters. Blew my mind, especially like right at the beginning of the movie when when the first shot of the movie, because I went to the theaters and I was like, I gotta check this out because I was a big fan. I think I only saw it because I was a big fan of Bill Murray and I was hearing such rave things about it. I was like, I'll go check it out. And then the movie opens with a long, lingering shot of a very attractive derriere, which at the time I didn't know who that young lady was, but she was very, very pretty. And her name is Scarlett Johansson. I have since seen films that she's done before then, but I think this was the first film I saw where I connected with, like, who's that? And I've loved Scarlett Johansson ever since. Why wouldn't you? But that's just a fantastic film overall. I mean, Bill Murray. I mean, ring a ding ding. That's probably my favorite scene is when he's doing the commercial and throwing all the one-liners. Then of course there's the famous, what does he whisper in her ear at the end and all that. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal film that I remember seeing in theaters and it just boom, hit me like a ton of bricks. And it gave me Scarlett Johansson, which I will always be thankful for that. That's for sure. Which, by the way, I have to mention if I'm going to bring up Scarlett Johansson, I have her CD. Yeah, she did a music album. She did an album. She sang on an album once. And the whole album is Tom Waits covers. Scarlett Johansson has an album where she sings Tom Waits songs. If you don't know who Tom Waits is, I feel very bad for you, and you should go Google him right now and look up as much music of his as he can. He's the greatest lyricist, in my opinion, who has ever lived. And he's also one of the greatest musicians of all time, and he has always had the greatest cameos in movies, yada, yada, yada. Tom Waits is one of my favorite musicians of all time. So to have one of my favorite actresses be doing an album of one of my favorite musicians, she even has duets with David Bowie on that album. Look it up. Scarlett Johansson has a banging singing voice. And you can imagine with that, lower raspy voice, but she's got a gorgeous singing voice. And her Tom Waits album is phenomenal. I wish she would have done more. I really do. But most people don't even know she sings, don't know she has an album, and would never even... Tom who? Highly recommend it. It's like anything else. Just kidding, that's the next movie. Anything else. Woody Allen's Anything Else. Starring American Pie Kid. What's his name? He has a name. It doesn't matter. And Christina Ricci. Now, the interesting thing about this movie is back in 2003 when it came out, and then probably maybe 2004-ish when I bought it on DVD, and then I watched it with my at the time girlfriend, who then became my wife, who then, while we were married, we would watch this movie quite often because we loved it very much. It's one of my favorite Woody Allen films, if not my favorite. It might be my favorite Woody Allen film, actually. That and the one with Larry David and Evan Rachel Wood. That's a good one too. But Anything Else is probably my favorite Woody Allen film. But the interesting thing about Anything Else is at the time it was just this great movie, and my wife and I could relate, and the main couple, and then Christina Ricci was playing a character named Amanda. Amanda was my wife's name. And then we got divorced. And then I rewatched the movie after that. And came to realize that movie was pretty much to a T about me and my ex-wife, Amanda. I'm the dork American Pie kid, and she's the amazing, out of my league woman that I can't believe I got. But spoiler alert, nothing ever ends well. So once I was able to realize that it was my story, it was exactly how Amanda and I's relationship unfolded in so many ways. The beginning, the middle, the end. And it's like anything else. So now I have a real personal connection with that movie because it takes me back to my relationship with her. If there were two movies that defined literally, like as if it was autobiographical, my relationship with my ex-wife, it would be anything else, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Anyway, I'm going to mention the movie Shattered Glass, and I'm only going to mention the movie Shattered Glass, even though I only recently saw it a few years ago. It's that movie that people always reference when they say, Hayden Christensen is a really good actor. If you don't believe me, watch Shattered Glass. Ironically enough, I would disagree with. I always thought Hayden Christensen was a good actor. Yeah, that's right. I think Hayden Christensen is phenomenal in Star Wars. I think he's great in Jumper. I think he's great in everything I've seen him in. I've never thought that Hayden Christensen was a bad actor. But ironically enough, Shattered Glass is the movie where I don't think he's very good. So I find it interesting that people always refer to it as, oh, but you should see that because he's really good in that. For me, it's like literally the opposite. I think he's good in everything except that. But it's a great story, great movie. Full disclosure, I'm only mentioning it because Chloe Sevigny's in it. Spoiler alert. I love Chloe Sevigny. I don't know if you knew that. My poster. She's great in the film. I mean, she's great in everything. Anyway, so if there's a Chloe movie that I'm gonna mention, it's ooh, check this out. Get ready for the comment section. Terminator 3. I saw Terminator 3 with my best friend at the time. When I say best friend, it's my future wife. Terminator 3 we saw in theaters and we loved it. Had so much fun. Left that theater like, that was amazing. That was awesome. But goddamn, a cop when you need one. I love that movie. And we love that movie. Like, so many people clown on that movie and think it's garbage. Of the first three, it's probably my favorite. Do I think it's the best of the first three? No. Obviously, Terminator 2 is probably always going to be the best Terminator movie. But Terminator 3 was my favorite. It's just so much fun. And I love Claire Danes. Schwarzenegger's hilarious in it. The female T-1000 thing, whatever it was called. TX? I don't know. But she was nice. I love the story. I love how they do, but especially the ending. The ending can make a great movie terrible, or a terrible movie great. This was a great movie where the ending made it. Holy crap! I'll never forget when we were in that theater because, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Terminator 3, they're trying to stop Judgment Day, and they have to get to a location to stop Skynet. And when they get there in the end, with just Claire Danes and what's his face, who also played Yellow Bastard in Sin City, John Connor, they realize this is not the place to stop Skynet. This is just an old bunker, and we were tricked into coming here so that we would survive Judgment Day. And then the bombs start dropping. Like, we're spending the whole movie trying to stop the end of the world, assuming that that's what's going to happen, because that's movies for you. Terminator, they stop it. Terminator 2, we've destroyed Skynet. Terminator 3, here we go again. But no. That's brilliant. You can't stop Judgment Day, because then you have no series. So they didn't. They said, just kidding. You guys are going to survive. But the bombs are dropping. Welcome to Judgment Day. I thought that was the coolest, most ballsy ending that no studio would let anyone get away with today. But back in 2003, holy crap, that was 20 years ago. It was like, what? What? Oh, so excited and exhilarating to have that kind of an ending. Love it. X2, X-Men. X2, X-Men United. What a stupid title. X-Men 2. Great movie. I was obsessed with X-Men. I loved the first one, and I was really excited for the second one. I have vivid memories of working at Red Lobster, maybe? Wherever it was. I remember getting the newspaper and seeing reviews for X-Men 2 and reading articles about it and being so excited. It was an amazing film, and it was a great time to be an X-Men fan. That was one of my first obsessions as a kid, was X-Men. So it was a great movie. It was a great. I would be remiss if I didn't mention X-Men 2. Oh, and Return of the King? Return of the King. That's the third Lord of the Rings. Ah, the third Lord of the Rings. Who needs to talk about Lord of the Rings? No one. Not me. So I won't. But I'll mention that I have vivid memories of seeing it with my, at the time, best friend. And her and I left the theater, and we both were like, wow, that was great. That was amazing. I mean, it is my... No, Two Towers is my favorite. Is it my second favorite? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the point being, we left the theater 20 years ago and went, man, that was amazing. And then looked at our watches and went, but why did it have like 100 endings? Of course, now, yes, that's what everyone says. But I just remember being part of the zeitgeist of the knee-jerk reaction even back then of, we're sitting in that theater like, oh, what a great end. Oh, okay, there's more. All right, that was the good ending too. Oh, there's more. All right. Oh, that's not as good of an ending. I would have. Oh, there's more. Oh, oh yeah. I think I would have preferred the other ending a few scenes ago. All right. Well. Oh, there's more. Okay. Roll credit. Oh, there's more. So, even on rewatch recently, it's like, and people argue, well, you have to wrap up the story, and it's like, yeah, but it's just once you get to that, once the Eagles show up, it's like, okay, let's move on. I think we don't need to spend another 20 to 30 minutes wrapping up everyone's story. Just give me the text. Oh, and then Sam and what's her face got married and had kids and lived happily ever after, and then Frodo and Bilbo went on a boat ride, and then this and that, and then everyone went to Elrod's house and got in the same bed. Like, just tell me what happened. You don't really need to show me at that point because we're done. We just sat through a 3-hour freaking movie. Yeah. Back then when they had to do reel changes, because before movies were digital and they came on a film reel, if they were longer than, say, an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, you would need multiple reels, and you would have to do a reel change up in the booth. Very complicated stuff. Talk about the cigarette burns. The Fight Club reference, yeah? Okay. Did we talk about Fight Club before? Probably. I don't know. Look it up. I can't. Man, there's too much going on. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You're not watching. Nobody's watching. I don't care. Oh yeah, this is for. I do this for me. I do this for me. So now we'll just get down to so there's two. Okay. So swimming pool. Swimming Pool I'm going to mention because it was a movie that my brother owned. And I got my hands on the VHS, and I knew that he had it because there was something about a purdy naked lady. And yes, there was a purdy naked lady. This beautiful blonde. Okay, cool. There's my core memory of that. But having said that, that purdy blonde in Swimming Pool was also in Peter Pan. Peter Pan? Which one? There's a lot of Peter Pans, by the way. In fact, there's also now a new one directed by David Lowery that I still haven't watched for reasons. But this Peter Pan came out in 2003. It was the, I don't know about first, but it's the first, the big studio live action adaptation of the story. This is not a Disney movie. This is just someone telling the Peter Pan story. And it's my favorite Peter Pan film, period. Like, I would watch this and then Hook. You got a great Peter Pan double feature. The 2003 live action Peter Pan is one of the reasons why I'm not, like, rushing to watch the new one. Even though, like, you can forget, like, the Hugh Jackman one. Whatever. But the new Peter Pan, directed by David Lowery on Disney Plus, is an adaptation of the Disney cartoon. And I'm like, I don't need another live-action Peter Pan because the 2003 Peter Pan is the perfect live-action Peter Pan. perfect. The cast is amazing. Every single actor in this Peter Pan is perfect. Especially Hook. The guy who dang it, I should know his name. He plays Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter. Lucius. Yeah, him. He plays Hook in this one, and he's not only a perfect, intimidating Hook, but he's also hilarious in the role, as well as the fact that he doesn't just play Hook, he also plays Wendy's dad back in London. And he's hilarious in that role as well. That's when I was like, this guy. And then when he showed up in Harry Potter, I was like, sweet, it's Hook. So people know him as Lucius. I know him as Hook. He's amazing. And the pirates in this Peter Pan, best pirates ever. They're the funniest pirate. Oh, she's going to tell a story. Did you hear that? I'm in a story. And by the way, I'm looking forward to the new one because he has to. Every single Hook has to shoot one of his pirates. You're not Hook unless you shoot one of your pirates. It happens in this. It happens in Hook. It better happen in the new one. You got to shoot one of your pirates or you're not Hook. But all the pirates... Oh, I believe in... You better stop it, or I'll cut you through. Believe in fairies, I do, I do. There's just so many... The characters of these particular pirates, especially a particular handful of them, it's hilarious. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. If you haven't seen the 2003 live-action Peter Pan... Oh, and the music, it's phenomenal. Those clouds, oh man, those clouds. If you know, you know. Anywho. Where are the children? We let them go, Captain, just like you said. You what? We let them go. You let them go. Like I said, I'll go on and on. Moving on. Is that it? That's it. That's everything. Except for, of course, this might take a minute. I'll try to make it quick. The number one most impactful film that I saw in 2003 would have been Peter Pan, because there's also references when I first met my son's mother. She would reference that movie, or at least I thought she was, when she was saying, "Can I keep you?" And I was like, oh my gosh, she's referencing Peter Pan. And then I realized years later she was actually referencing Casper. Anywho. But what takes the number one spot for the most impactful film that came out in 2003 is Daredevil. The Ben Affleck, Colin Farrell, Daredevil. I love that movie. I saw it with my at the time best friend / future wife. And we love that movie. Ben Affleck is my Daredevil. Yeah, I said it. I never saw the new Netflix Daredevil until She-Hulk. He's alright. I like the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Sue me. I love it. I do. But the reason why it takes the number one spot, that movie came out on Valentine's Day. I don't know if we actually saw it like opening day, so I don't know if it was Valentine's Day, because that would be weird, because we were just friends. I met my at the time best friend / future wife, current ex-wife, current best friend in high school a few years before. We'd been good friends. I'd had a crush on her. I'd liked her this whole time. Then we go off to see Daredevil. We went to my IMAX theater here. And I'll never forget, sitting in that theater in the IMAX, waiting for the movie to start. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Right then and there in that moment. I will never forget. Sitting in the IMAX theater, about to watch Daredevil, chumming it up with my best friend. And all of a sudden my heart grew 3 times larger that day. That was the moment I fell in love with her. I knew it. Right then and there, it washed over me, and I went, I'm in love with this woman. It took a while for me to admit it to her, and I'll never forget that moment either, because I was driving, and I know exactly the turn I was taking from this street to that street when I just blurted it out to her when we were on our way to my house to hang out. She took it like a champ. She's used to it. Every man she ever knew pulled that crap on her. But I married her a couple years later, for the record. But Daredevil that has a huge influence on me, obviously, because I will never forget that being the moment I fell in love with my soulmate, my future girlfriend, my best friend, my future wife, my current ex-wife, and yes, still 20 years later, my best friend, texting on a daily basis. So if it wasn't for Daredevil, who knows where I'd be. There you have it, 2003. Good year. 20 years ago. So I would have been 20. Halfway through where I am now in life. Which means we're halfway through these darn videos. Well, more than, because I'm only going to go through 2002. Obviously, I'm not going to do a 2022. I'm not going to do a 2023 video. Because well, that would be Dune. Spoiler alert, if I did one for 2023, it would be Dune Part 2. Duh. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Okie dokie.